This is from Magnetic Games. This guy is playing with magnets. Has look like 6 million subscribers, 6 point something subscribers. So you see magnets. He has spherical one and cubical ones. And now you understand what I'm telling you. And you're making electromagnetic equations. First of all, you must understand the equations of magnetism. So how you are combining magnets with electricity. You see, so first of all, I'm telling you the equation of forces by mass of magnetic. And it depends on magnets. Natural magnets are different kinds, different strengths per mass. So if you don't know this, even gold in the Bible says that it is, you see light, it pulls lights inside a magnet. It's not influencing it. But the magnets, it is light. And that's electricity, how you know it. And it emits light, you see. It is, all of them are light, phenomenon of light. This is light, you see. You must admit at least that it is, you see, you must admit at least that it is light in electricity. It is light, you see. You must admit at least this. If it has something supplementary making it a strong light, because it is like a scrambled. It is like a spin somehow in a turbine. Okay, so you see it goes towards the magnet. So, but there's no relation how you are saying. You see, the magnets produce electricity or the electricity produce magnetism. It is attracted by the magnet, you see. So the light inside the first place, this was not deviated or something, you see. So in this manner, I believe that the matter is made. Like in this magnetic manner, in different forms, light, but not only with two poles. The magnets, you see, put lights inside, and you put it, okay, and it's not influenced by the magnet. But you produce light with electricity. You understand? So there's electricity coming out from that. So it is no relation. It is no relation between electricity and magnets. There's no. It is only when you make it, because you make the motor like this. You make with magnets and electricity to make some poles. But you can make an electromotor with no magnets. Because you are profiting on this that has two poles, and you can jump from a pole to another to produce mechanical movement, rotation, mechanical movement. So, but there's no relation if you put them in an equations. Like, let's pull a pause here. So you see here Maxwell equation. I show it to you again. Like, where is it? That with vectorials. You see, what I'm telling you is defined by a foot. The magnets do not attract by mass. So you must put this is incomplete. You must put the vectorial forces. You see, so now you are tricked by this in general manner. A magnet will not attract only a certain distance. So the law of magnetism, it is a limited function. You see, their functions defined a function of x defined with some values. So if you put a b is magnetism, I believe because Maxwell was named Maxwell and is magnetism, and put b instead of magnetism, and you see vectorial. But now you define the magnets on a foot or like a half a meter. Because the magnet will not attract farther than this. So now if you put a function of x taking values from 0 to half a meter. So it is a limited function. Now you see electromagnetism all over the galaxy, the universe, electromagnetic laws of Maxwell. You see, so this vectorial has value only, you see, has value only a half a meter. So you see there is light, is bands lights, magnets. You see, you can see them with, you see, this is on paper there. So all the colors of magnetism, of light, you see, this is all the colors of light, not all, green, and you put, so it are not influenced by so it's already past. I believe that this matter as the matter may. You see, if you want to break this cube, there's a force. So the force of breaking point of the materials. But you see, it's not magnetic. But you do not need that the general function of an object to be magnetic. To be magnetic, like so you see all the colors, few colors, green, yellow, like violet, and so they are not influenced by, you emit, they are not influenced by the magnet. In electricity only, but yeah, the tricks, because the electricity, if you produce this electromagnet, it spins the lights in a way of magnets. So it magnetizes it. So it is like a serpent bites its head, like a circular reasoning. You produce the electricity with magnets, and you say that on the trajectory of, or you produce it with magnets, it produces magnetic field. So it is a circular reasoning. It's already produced in the, like in a factory like this. So you're making equation how the factory is producing it. So this is the fault. But the light is magnetism, a special way. But you see that no color is influenced by the magnets. But maybe you do not see it, but maybe it is some influence. But in this matter, I believe that the objects are made like this. It is a force of breaking point. If you break a wood or something, and it has different strengths, like different strength of magnets. And keep in mind that the magnets is not a field, like Maxwell is saying. So it is not a field. You see, maybe I have here the visualization, or I wanted to put it in a video.
If light doesn't spread like through a medium, then what determines its speed?
Okay.
This question is not as trivial as it might
let's
seem.
See. No, not here.
In all other examples.
Not here. Let's see. Okay, I will insert it in the video. Okay, this is a waste of time. Okay, but nonetheless, I will show to you what I want to say.
In a complete vacuum.
Here. Okay, this one, you see, this one is, he says that it is a perpendicular force.
But the electromagnetic wave serves
electromagnetic waves, a perpendicular wave of electricity, like this. But you understand, the magnetism is not a wave, and it is not a wave, it has on poles. You see, you put two magnets, it does nothing, only in a perpendicular manner, North Pole and South Pole. So now you can treat in a pontiform manner, not in a wave. So it is not a field, it is not a wave. You can treat it in a pontiform manner by mass, two poles, North and South Pole. One attracts and one rejects. And in composed different in attraction, you imprime velocity on attraction on two magnets. When they attract, some distance, so the law is defined by distance. So when they attract, you see, only from short distance, not even half a meter, you see. But when he rejects, is kept stable on some distance by mass. So the law of magnets should be like on mass. You understand? So the magnets, the law of magnets should be by mass. You see, spherical and a cube ones. So identical mass has some strength on some kind of materials. I'm telling you that gold differs. They're different gold. In the Bible says the gold was from somewhere, good gold, okay, not in a purity or something. So it attracts only from a small distance, you see, but so the law is defined by a small distance. So now why you are tricking me by all the numbers? You do not know functions in mathematics, and real numbers implies minus infinite, plus infinite with all the decimal places. But now if you trick me like this, you see that the magnets are attracting only from close range. Only from close, look, only. And so on a close range by mass, there is a magnetic force in a punctiform manner that like Newton neglected the volume. The attraction is in a punctiform manner, north south, okay, and is only defined in half a meter. The law is not no strength beyond this. Okay, this closed range equation defined by from 0 to few inches, you see. So it's by mass, and the mass you can disregard the geometry and you can treat only the north and south pole. So it is not like this visualization. I'm telling you, the science is false. You see, on the
transitions into a magnetic wave and vice versa.
This false. You see, on direction of the electricity, it is
spread. They can do this in a complete void. We could say, with a bit of a stretch, that the electromagnetic wave serves as its own medium.
You see, B magnetic electric
transitions into
green
a magnetic
one.
wave, and
So
vice
it's
versa.
like,
They move
you
in
see,
this way, transitioning
this false
and even
is not a
transforming
wave.
into one another, perpendicular to each other and the movement's direction.
This is false. This is false. You see these magnets. There is waves. They're not. They're poles. No matter the geometrical form. You see, cube or a sphere has two poles. So now you can treat math in a punctiform manner like Newton. All the mass you put it in a point, and the point has two poles, north and south pole. And it differs because when you imprime a speed an attraction speed with magnet, it differs. When you reject it, it reaches a stable distance, and you push it by the force, impriming the forced object with the velocity. The second object follows. So margins, because you force them together over their strength, okay, if you understand. So the law of attraction will be different by the law of rejection. The law of the attraction of the magnet will be my mass north and south pole, and between north and south pole attraction will be defined by mass with a constant velocity due to the strength of the magnet. You understand? You understand what I'm telling you? So do you believe there's here in the equation what I'm telling you? I'm telling you the science is false. You are believe that I'm stupid. The science is false. And this is not a field. It's a punctiform attraction, magnetic attraction, north and south. And it behaves in different manner when it attracts and rejects. So if you have a electric field,
it can be considered a wave in itself, if you will.
This is false.
And this
it's
is
not
the
a
first
wave.
oddity that
It's not.
that
So if you understand, you have north and south pole. So if you put a point like of energy point, immediately you have near him, like in mathematical matter, north and south pole, magnetic and attraction. So if you want to make this correct, you put a point like this, and 2 points, north and south point, like this. This will be in a correct manner representing, and the point being electricity, and the other 2 points being magnetism, okay, if you want to. So this vectorial stuff is a vector defined by R values on what or what. It's in the temporal and time in general, because the time is only limited to a small attraction in a nearby attraction, like you see. So, but I'm telling you that it emits light. Its electron does not look light. Electricity, it is light, and magnetism also. You can register it with light. The forms of light, and the matter is made like this. Okay, goodbye. I'll take these ideas over my table. So electromagnetism is false. I'm telling you, all the science is false. If you not believe me, contradict what I've told you now. You see? Okay, goodbye. Hi, welcome into my channel. So if you know, I cut from other videos and comment them about science. I say that we can go to the stars. The stars are close and all the science is wrong. Physics especially. So if you know, this is the second video on light. I already put from what video I'm cutting. So about electromagnetic waves. From this video about electromagnetic waves, but it's the same video, so but you can watch it without seeing my first one about light, but from the same guy. You look.
This left scientists to face a rather unpleasant reality. They had to come to terms with the fact that electromagnetic waves do not require a medium to spread. They can do this in a complete void. We could say, with a bit of a stretch, that the electromagnetic wave serves as its own medium, since in a combined wave the electric wave transitions into a magnetic wave and vice versa. They move in this way, transitioning, even transforming into one another, perpendicular to each other and the movement's direction. It can be considered a wave in itself, if you will.
Okay, if you watch that about electromagnetic waves, I'm telling you about magnetism. So first of all, to have magnet equations like Maxwell equations, you must have magnets defined by mass, not due to electricity, because two magnets attract or reject like this, and reject like this, if you know, north and south pole. And now you are confusing exactly like Maxwell or other guys. There's a field, there's not a field, you cannot treat it like field, because it is not existing on attraction only like in a perpendicular manner, like here, and a rejection like here. And now if you want to make the equation of magnetism, you see it's due to mass. And you must understand the different kind of magnets, different kinds of iron, different kind of copper, different kinds. You see copper, but in the Bible says, and the gold was from some place, from Paravaens or something, because it was better gold than another mines. It was better gold. Now if you have it in Mendeleev like this gold, okay, is our like in Romanian and from Latin. Okay, so there's better gold. Now to make it to see like this ion or purity percentage or something like this, and the same with magnets, I'm telling you. So I'm telling you that you cannot make the equation of magnetism and the Maxwell equation are wrong. So watch another part from this guy and I'll speak more.
In general, gravitational waves and gluons move at this speed. Finally, let's consider the third main oddity, the most incomprehensible and even unsettling one. Even if you've heard this many times, it's worth repeating it, because most people can't wrap their heads around it. Let's keep this approximate figure in mind. 300,000 kilometers per second, or 186,000 miles per second. No more, no less. Always, everywhere. Let's say you're flying on a starship at almost this huge speed, standing on the captain's bridge. You turn on a flashlight and direct the beam forward along the course. At what speed will the beam ultimately travel? Logic suggests that you should add the speed of the beam to the speed of the starship. After all, if you're driving a car and throw a ball forward, the speed of the ball equals the sum of the speed of your car and the speed at which you will throw the ball. But logic doesn't work here. The speed of the flashlight beam will still be equal to that same stubborn figure, 300,000 kilometers per second or 186,000 miles per second. No more and no less. Always, everywhere.
So if you watch that, this putting like the electric field like this, and says field or the wave, and the magnetism like this in the perpendicular manner, and it is not incorrect. If you want to treat like in a particular point like particle manner, like this, the like a point like this is a point, minimal point of electricity, let's say. What you want to say is not that it is a wave, because if you see like gravity of Newton gravity, you put all the mass, disregard the volume of the rock, you put it in a point like this, a point of matter, material point of mass. So the same the magnetism, because you can disregard all the parts of magnet, has only attraction like this and a rejection in another kind like this. And if you want to represent this, the law of magnetism is by mass. And I've told you that with gold there are different kinds of magnets, so even though they are natural different kinds of magnets, there are some balls like of iron like this, you put magnets already, you cannot attract them until you pass fire through them. You make something and then they become magnetic. It's even though it is iron, okay, on and it will be big quantity of iron in some on a river. So if you want to understand, this is the first trick with waves and a field. There is not a field, even though it seems to you like magnets in big time reject. If you want to describe in correct manner, you have like 3 points: is north, south, like this. Because you put plus and minus, you're going to teach yourself again evidence to extract them. So north and south is 2 letters. If you want, you put yin and yang. If you want yin and yang. This yin and yang, first of is a Jewish term. The Chinese guys stole it from Moses. Moses says Urim and Tumim, like a duality, diverse duality, man and female, white and the Jewish priest. So 2,000 years before Christ, Moses wrote this Urim and Tumim, like this, Urim and Tumim. I believe there is this Turim, Urim, like this, Urim, and Tumim, like this, yin and yang. What I'm telling you, this north and south, you see, you have the magnets, and they have north and south, like this. Like this. I already showed to you with magnets this, but let me make strong the idea. Okay, so you treat it, you must, if you say that it is electricity, you must disregard as a field. And if you want to say, if you have an electric point like this, electricity, you immediately have 2 other points of north and south pole. Points. So if you want to treat like this, and in this manner you are going to treat yourself that it exists some particles and something like this, and because you see, you put the mass point like mass, you disregard the volume and put all the mass in one point, like in the middle, to make the center of gravity, and do the same model, you put electricity in a point, you are believing somehow there, or say, okay, so now maybe if you go through a bigger scale, the magnetism does not exist anymore, and if you have a smaller scale, the magnetism does not exist anymore. So that's why if you want to make a law for magnetic laws, you must treat mass. So magnetic is related to mass. Okay, not to okay. So you have a mass. You have a strength of magnetic, and you understand that it is different when they will attract only from this distance. If you put them with 1 centimeter further, 1 inch further, they do not attract anymore. So it is the strength per mass, difference per mass, and varieties of natural magnets. Okay. So now there are functions in physics, in mathematics. If you know f of x, like this function defined by r with values in r like this, and you have r numbers. all the numbers, okay? But why we want to do it like this? To trick me, because the magnets do not have a function that varies only like this. You see. So the function of So what is Maxwell? Is a trick somehow, if you understand. You put B magnetism and an arrow. In this manner, you can say stuff like this. The electromagnetism of the entire universe, but I cannot have only is defined on this. This is a function of x like this. Define only from this interval from 0 to, let's say, half a meter, 0.5 meters. This is the definition of the function, only like this. So it takes values only in this manner. But then again, you understand that the Maxwell equation is false, because the magnets do not have like a vectorial. A vector is a quantity. Like this, like a quantity. You see, a vector is from here to here, like this. And you are tricking yourself with the arrow. It shows to you only a direction. Is north, in north direction, if you want. This is north, and this is but it's not even a direction, because you can change the poles and it will attract them. And it is a matter of fact something that it does. It attracts in north and rejects in south. So you can say yin and yang. There's no minus and no plus. You are tricking yourself. So now if you see that there's vectors above the magnetic strength, it is false. Because these vectors, adding of vectors, are Newtonian vectorial addings like this. And it is like a parallelogram, like this, conform to some properties of geometry, like this. And the resultant is in the middle one, like this. This is a vectorial adding. So another way of understanding is like quantity. You are imagining like you are going in a train with some velocity, and you say static like this, and the train goes 100 kilometers in that direction. So you have a vector like 100 kilometers like this in this direction of the train, and you walk in a train with your own speed. If you want to see what's the speed in the train, inside the train, with your speed of walking. But if you want to see what your speed or some on a tree that it is outside the train, you add the vectorial adding like this. Your speed, let's say, is 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second, like this, your walking speed, like this, okay, and a vector of movement of the train. So the resultant will be 110 is kilometers per hour here, okay. You must convert them in seconds, okay. So it's going to be 100.001 kilometers. So now you understand again that you can do wrong, because the adding of vectorial adding like this is in geometrical manner. So the resultant in a parallelogram manner, you see, so it is not a vector. You understand, it's false. So this is what I'm telling you, but I'm telling you the equation, and I'm telling you this, you do not have others. You do not have other equations. So there's no perpendicular field like this. There's no perpendicular. You cannot treat them like that. So watch another part from this guy, and I'll speak more.
It's quite hard imagining this, but let's stretch our point here and illustrate this with a very rough example. Imagine that you're slowly walking through a large but very shallow puddle. With every step, each plunge of your boot sends water ripples in all directions at the same speed. You can walk faster or slower, but the speed at which each wave spreads will always be the same. Or take the speed of sound, for example. The source of the sound can move at any speed, whether it's the sound of a flying jet or the roar of an erupting volcano standing still. The speed of sound does not add up to the speed of the object emitting it. Once again, these are very rough, oversimplified examples, because the constancy of the speed of light is absolute. It doesn't depend on anything, it just is. And this is the third most disconcerting oddity.
Okay, if you watch that about the speed of light, a big video about the speed of light, okay? So I'm telling you, if you want to make magnetism, then you unite them with electricity. If it's so how we did, you are producing electromagnetic movement with magnets and electricity. You put 4 magnets like this, and then you pretend to yourself that you this smart, you calculate. So you believe it or not, there is a circular way of thinking like this. You put yourself in a circle, and you are understanding somehow now that but you have the central power plants, but they make like to take you money, okay, and make a measurer tool like this. This piece, you flow current through it, it will vibrate like this, like 10 times per second. 10 times per second. So if you register and vibrate it 10 times per second, it means that you take current from them, and they decided if it vibrates 10 times per second, they will take from you $10, $10, okay, like this, and this is a steel piece like this. So in this manner, they define the kilowatts, kilohertz per hour per second. You see, kilohertz in frequency. You understand how the light has frequency, does not. And they are producing with a motor, with copper wiring like this, and have so these magnets. So now they're selling to you false formula, trying to give them the false time to give them the tail of it or the head of it, you see. And in the meanwhile, they define engineering type of manner to take you money, exactly like you flow water through a tube, and if you register, they're even in a magnetical type manner, they take you money from you, like, because there's a sphere like this, suspended like this, a plaque like this, suspended, okay, and when you take a current from it, it is revolving like this. So it hits the apparatus, and then they say how much current they will take from it, and from this you are believing somehow that they are calculating. I'm telling you what they are calculating. They put a wire like this. There's some transformer, and there's in engineering science, there is electronics. But the physics is wrong. They steal from the electronics. Somebody discovered a condenser, and the Tesla, when he made the first power plant, he made it to do with the transformer and with everything, with cables and the transformer, the power plant and everything. Okay, so now you are believing somehow because they know how to make this with condensers to regulate, to not burn, to be made like this. They calculate electromechanical, and the entire planet does not know the electricity is like. The entire planet, millions of power plants, or electric power plants on the rivers, and the rivers, they extract light from the okay. But I'm telling you, the CERN and stuff like this, you can make some bobbins like this, and to extract light from the surrounding background, because they exist all over the galaxy. And then they're going to take your 0-point module, like in Goulman, like in Star Trek Stage 1. If you don't understand, they're already building. They say some reactor of fusion reactor stuff like this, but I'm telling you, if you do not want to admit this, and they're going to lie to you that they produce, I don't know, but if you make 2 bobbins like this, between them you produce current from the back surrounding, without movement with the river. So the river spins the light like this, already with the magnets, and then you are pretending yourself that it is electromagnetic, but you produce it like this from the source, and then you say it is electromagnetic waves. So watch another part from this guy, and now I'm telling you my section. I filmed my monitor many times this video, if you saw that, okay. So let me tell you that this, what is the speed of light? It says that some guys calculate the speed of light, so watch.
We'd like to repeat the observation, calculate the time, sit down at the telescope, but the eclipse of Io begins 1,320 seconds, or 22 minutes later than it should, because the light simply needs to travel the extra distance. We don't know for certain whether Romer continued his train of thought and solved the riddle of the speed of light. Most of his work was destroyed during a fire in Copenhagen in 1728. and it's unknown whether he announced the discovery of the speed of light. But he proved that it has limits and determined them.
So what is the speed of light in this match? Before I release it, what is the speed of light? It is in the matches in the sulfur does not have any speed, but even when you pull it out, does not have any speed. So if you understand about the speed of light, again a part of them, they say that it calculated the speed of light, okay, and I'm telling you this oil contains light, and I'm telling you what is the speed of light in the oil, and you are not believing that it contains light. Look, so watch another part now, speed of light.
Using modern knowledge of the celestial body's orbits, we can calculate that Romer's experiment would have shown the speed of light to be 226,663 kilometers a second. This is almost a quarter less than the true value. Romer was noticeably mistaken, as at that time the diameter of the Earth's orbit and the time delay of Io's eclipse were measured inaccurately. Nonetheless, this was another important step forward. 50 years later, in 1728, thanks to the discovery and the phenomenon of light aberration, the English astronomer James Bradley refined this figure to 308,000 kilometers a second. Although this figure was a bit too high, it was very close.
So if you watch that, you see this. What's the speed of light inside the oil? This is a candle in Romania, like with oil. You put it and it burns all the night, believe it or not. The luminosity is of LED luminosity, but it's from 50 milliliters of oil like this. You can trick yourself to say that the light it is somehow resonance of the field, but it comes from inside, because if you do not have the oil, the light not going to go outside, okay? But it is nonetheless, because it's something in philosophy is means like phenomenology, okay? There is a phenomenon between the vibration of this burning oil, but nonetheless it's from the oil, okay? You see it in a flame, but and the vibration of the air. So somehow is the impact. This kind of light, okay, is a phenomenological one. This kind of sound, it comes exactly from the steel, where it impacts and resonates itself with the air. So what is the phenomenon like? It's not the light from inside the steel only. It's the light from the instrument shape and the contact with the air. And the air contains light. So the sound, the impact sound is okay. So what the speed of light we're calculating by them? Look.
Later, the speed of light was measured by French astrophysicists François Arago and Léon Fourceau, who obtained a result of 298,000 kilometers a second. Then there was Michelson's experiment, which brought us even closer to the correct figure. Scientists finally settled on a value in the second half of the 20th century, when masers and lasers were developed, distinguished by their extremely stable frequency of radiation. By the early 1970s, the error in measurements had decreased to 1 kilometer a second. As a result, the 15th General Conference on Weights and Measures, held in 1975, decided to consider the speed of light in a vacuum henceforth to be 299,792,458 meters a second. It looks like we have everything figured out, right?
So if you understand these are the tricks, and then they're going to say opposite stuff, and you do not go anywhere, and they themselves said, but we do not calculate the speed of light, but we do not calculate it, we do not know. But I'm telling you certain stuff that you cannot, because it has different speeds, and even does not have any speed. And believe it or not, like I'm telling you for sure, now I may maybe multiply this idea another time, some other time. You see, you have different chords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you give it in a temporal manner from here to here. It takes you, let's say, a second. And then all the temporal waves are caught in a single temporal wave. And now you are saying like the time it is added itself. But it is described, light must put all the times together. Because light is this going to your ear, okay, from each one of them. But not making a adding function like you add do time, do t with re time, t1, t2 like this, and all the notes, say notes like do, re, or t1 time, t2. The light does not have any time. So it waits somehow, you see. It is like in a field, multi-dimensional field, the time is undefined in it, so somehow light does not have any time, and you give these notes, 6 notes together with different times, because one is longer, one is shorter, to describe them, goes outside the time and catches them and brings them in a common time, if you understand. So does not even a space-time relation, if you understand. So that's why I'm telling you what's the speed of. The speed is defined by space over time, but I'm telling you the light does not even have time in it. Has somehow a probability of time. So it waits for you to see what time it gives to you to describe it. Okay, you give it a short time, it describes your short time. You give it the light, describes the time. So this means that the time is a possible time in light. It's not the defined time. Okay, so does not have even a time. So now if you put this relation of space-time relation like Maxwell did on electricity, you are tricking yourself. I'm telling you that you have this program with cars on the road. You emit from the single antenna like this. So watch another part from these guys and I speak more.
The speed of light is always constant and never changes. In all inertial frames of reference, it remains constant regardless of the speed of the source or the observer. This phenomenon is counterintuitive and truly baffling, but it has been confirmed by numerous experiments and is one of the fundamental principles of modern physics. However, scientists realized this only centuries after this speed was measured. An attentive viewer might say, hang on, what do you mean by centuries after? Was the speed of light measured hundreds of years ago? But how? What kind of medieval technology would have allowed us to do it? After all, it's not hard to figure out that at such speed, light can circle the globe at the equator 7 times in 1 second, provided it could move in a circle.
So from a video, I'm subscribed to this channel. Electricity.
The laser beam targets the rust with pinpoint accuracy, gently removing it without harming the metal, thanks to the adjustable depth.
So electricity, it is light. I'm subscribed to this guy. I'm filming the monitor sometimes. It's faster for me to do it like this. To do the video, not take me. I'm subscribed to this guy, so I always show to you from where I cut. Okay, but electricity is light. Okay, so this is what I want to tell you. It's a substance. Electricity has many values, many ways of using it. So that's why you must understand what you can do with it to understand the forms of it. So that's why you have copper element, but you can put it to sing with it in a guitar. You can make some pens or cable, say multiple functions. This is the light, how it is, has multiple functions. That's why you do not understand them. But it is not the electron. The electron does not exist. You saw light. It is light everywhere. Okay, so now you have a radio antenna like this, emits radio. Okay, like this antenna, okay? I'm telling you this per volume, like the sound, the energy is per volume, like this. It only reaches 2 kilometers, 3, 4, 5 kilometers. But then on this antenna you have 100 cars. And 100 cars, they're all over the town. What is the center of the town, the border of the town? One is static in like in a building parked, and one has 100 kilometers in this direction. But all the cars are switched on the radio antenna. The radio antenna emits a radio voice, okay? And they catch it. You are understanding now that this if it has 300,000 kilometers per second. Nonetheless, because each car is commuting on the post is on, so there's no live transmission somehow. It is different times in it. But I'm telling you, you transmit now all of them. There's this simultaneity, so the light does not have. You emit it on the volume. That's the resonated volume. So in each part, somehow it is a duplicate of the signal that you transmitted in a hyperdimension. You commute. So it is not even a relation, space-time relation. What you're sending is a packet of space-time. How do you define? And if you do not understand and believe this, you have a terabyte of stick like this, of memory stick. You pass light through it, and in a stick you have 2 months of video, non-stop video. You put in watch 2 months of non-stop video and like this. So have an external temporal discretion. You project it on your monitor in 2 months. Each minute, each second you watch a video on your computer screen. But when you put in a stick, does not have time. You understand? So the light does not have times. If you understand, it's a hyperdimensional time. It's copy duplicates is it, and you project it and you unwrap it to how do you want a temporal. So zooms of time, temporal zooms of images. And another thing what I want to tell you is that you see when you transmit on live transmission, you transmit me now like here, and you register. You do not register waves. To say that electromagnetism, you saw that waves like this and going like this, and they are saying that okay, but we will only see this spectrum of colors from this ultraviolet, and they're tricking you. Why? Because it's not a wave. When you see me now, you do not see waves, you do not see sequences. So what you are transmitting? Frequencies. You do not transmit frequencies. This is from radio waves on kilohertz, and many tricks in current day science. The light is not an electromagnetic wave. I'm telling you this. So if you don't believe me, then you understand how you correlate magnetism with if you understand that Maxwell is false.
Now, get ready for something unexpected. The fact is that the speed of light has never actually been measured. No, we're not trying to stir up cheap intrigue or conspiracy. All these experiments were actually conducted in ancient times, but we can't say that they conclusively measured the speed of light. Moreover, the same holds true even for the most modern measurement methods. You might say that's not even funny. There's definitely some kind of catch here. And you'd be partly right, but only partly. In fact, sometimes reality is more amazing than any fantasy and even more elusive than a dream. Let's go step by step. How do we measure the speed of ordinary objects? For example, how would you measure the speed of a baseball shot from a cannon? For this, we need 2 things. First, the distance between the 2 points, and second, the time it takes for the ball to travel from one to the other. Then we simply take the distance, divide it by the time, and that's how we get the speed. Plus, we have high-speed cameras at our disposal. We can count the frames and correlate them with the built-in camera timer. No problem, so why can't we measure the speed of light in the same way? After all, it would seem that even our great ancestors did this repeatedly hundreds of years ago.
This is from National Geographic. Fireflies. Where is the light inside the fireflies speed? What is it? Before the fireflies releases it. What is it? Where is it? So before it illuminates inside the body of the fleas, it makes 300,000 kilometers. What is the speed of light? It is not. Light does not have a certain speed. Look, fireflies.
Somewhat random at first, but when
You see, you store light here, or the ultimate example like this, you store light in the battery here, and you pull out light, you see, you pull out light, you see. So what is the speed of light in the battery? That exists. So, but if you deny the ray, you are crazy, because if you empty the battery with this kind of LIBOR emitting light, you are not going to have energy. You charge it again. So you, from where the light came out from the battery. So you see, there is some phenomenological way of thinking, because it's the field background field, and it's a phenomenon between the instrument and the ear. So you have some things, but more complicated than a phenomenon like time matter. It is an intersection between two hands like this to produce sound. Where is it? Is this hand or in this hand? It is in the intersection in the phenomenon. Okay, so it is in the air or it is in the cord. It is a phenomenon, but it is the result of this light. Okay, and if you watch another part, or from me, 50 minutes, I film the monitor, and okay. Now see my program that I'm making music. So I'm telling you that you see light now, emissions of light. You see, so do you believe there is conversion between the electrons from the laptop and light? You see light, you see, and the computer does not compute as many pages like pictures made with light and put in a geometrical pattern. Although the program some buttons, you access some buttons, and you see push like Sakura this plugin, and you go to see you see they are reading with light, and they are buttons. You press on them and they're buttons. It's not computing. So you see touch finger, you see, because all the senses are done with light. You press with your finger, have light in the finger, and on your phone, if you have a touchscreen phone. Okay, so a touch screen like this on laptop, you see, a touch screen like this. So this proves to you that you have light in a finger. Okay, some dimension, you press it, and this is buttons. But what you are seeing here are pictures. A picture is made with light. A picture, it is a name, but it is a picture. A picture, and you press on it on the virtual or like a button. Like a button, you press some energy and you interrupt exactly like a button, like you have a light bulb. So there are many buttons and pictures. All that you are seeing, there are buttons with pictures, and I show to you there how many instruments I have. Okay, only in this plugin, because there's hundreds. You see, only in this plugin. Let's take a purity flute. I press on it, and okay, and you have like, see, I press on it. This not computing anything. You see, it displays you picture like you have an album. But you do not give the page with your finger like this, but with pressing a button, open and close, open, and the sound itself, it is light. You see. And you see that it is a pure wave of light. You are seeing here light, even though it is projected out by the pixels of the computer screen that are made from the material. But what they are projecting light. You see, this is a beam of light. But you see that this beam of light does not have the speed of light. You can see it with your eyes. Look. So what I'm telling you, the light where you are filming the light, because this is a beam of light, does not have any material when it comes from your towards your camera, does not travels on a material like in my hand, like something. Okay, so now if you are understanding, the light copy is like to send it in a camera like this. But you see, they have a certain speed. I will show to you a laser. Imagine that you see a laser. You say that the laser beam has 300,000 kilometers per second, but you're filming with the light in the exterior manner, and it makes a duplicate. So now you must intersect two beams of light to see a beam of light, a laser beam of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. So now if you are thinking that you impact it like you impact a ball with light, you see, but it's telling you does not have a certain speed. Look, you make light to go small like this. You see light with a slow vibration. It is not a speed in this wave, you see it with your eyes. It is a wave of light. You see? And I'm telling you that it is not a wave. When you travel, why do you send a wave if you want to send yourself, your face? So your face is a wave. It's not a wave. You want to send a face to somebody, your face, and then you say the light is a wave. It's not a wave, exactly a copy duplicate of your face. You send it through a cable or wireless. So why do you are saying that it is a wave? This is tricks, because it's a wave only in like this, in a music type manner. These are let's say toy organ, let's say. You see, I put it here, and you can play in a piano with it, like here. You see, it has different speeds. A general time that you see like C6 measure time, 8/18ths, and a full note. And I've told you, if you press C is do, 10 scales. Some of instruments do not have. You see that it varies. You are mistreating it like a do note, and it seems to you that it might remain the same, but it's changing, like a man has the same name. This is the same guy, but it's changing. Look, the same note. You see, it's changing in time. It has a function of time. Look, it's oscillating. You see. So you see. But how it is, this light in the computer? It is static. You imagine that it does this when you're not pressing it. So how it looks? It is a picture of it, a picture like this. The electricity goes through it, that it is light, and duplicates it and sends it to your speakers, and send it to this program first, okay? You see that it varies even if you short temporal note. So this is light manifesting in a sound waves. It is light. It is the impact between objects are made with light. But you do not believe that. But you press like with your fingers. You press light. You send an impulse of light, and it goes through the circuits, and the circuits open like a button. You see. But you press a real image like this. It is a real finger. See, exactly like you are pressing a finger. I press with light on light. Look. And when I press on the picture exactly like in a button, it sends some little bit of light, and it's like a command. And you on a scanner, when you scan a picture like a Xerox machine, you have a picture, you send light over it, and copy duplicates with light. Light does make many things. Many things. You can sing with it. It makes the Mendeleev. It's the interaction melts. It is in fire. Has multiple aspects, but it does not have a certain speed. Does not have a certain speed. You like this program? I compose music in it. Okay, so let's take another instrument. Maybe like worm keys. You see, I press on them. Look, and I put me here in the plugin, and you see, and I go here in this Sakura piano roll is a picture. It's not calculating. Computer does not compute. It displays you pictures that you can press on them. And I press on this picture, and even the sound are pictures stored. So you imagine I have all these pictures with sound like this, but now you can trick yourself that it is a static manner. It varies. Light is like a flower. And although it's easy in the static manner in the computer, when you send lights through it, light is intelligent. God made it to make it like this, and it varies. You see, you have the concept do note or re, do. You see the scale. So you have the concept like your name, like a do note, but you are imagining now that it stays static. Because even though we make a pictures of it, when light goes through it, it changes somehow structures in a margin of to remain identical somehow and changing. So like exactly like you are changing it, but you remain the same man. No, okay. And you see that it differs. You cannot make from one kind of wave this kind of wave. You cannot make it. You cannot make it if you understand. It's a logical process, and it supposes a rational mind. And there's a tone. Even though you are thinking in a geometrical manner, but by manipulating this wave of light on axis like this to obtain many fractals of light like this. So even though let's say you are making like this and you copy duplicate with a scanner and you put it to see how it would sound like you see, but there is a specific tone, and the tone is embedded in this wave. And the tone is not the wave itself. It is a particular tone of a guitar or flute or something. You see, a particular tone due to the in this manner to the material. So you cannot pass from this in another picture of light. So what I'm telling you. You say that let's say like it's a man. See. And this is another man. So okay, an Indian guy. I show to you welding, and me. Okay, Mirja, like a channel. So now you say that we're both man, and somehow you trick me that you can go and make me in an Indian in an instant. So, but this is the trick. Even though we have names, Do and Re, even though the light is a name like a human, like we are humans, man, both for us, but you cannot pass from one to another. What I'm telling you this is the same, even though it is light, but the note of a guitar do and a flute note, you cannot pass from one from another. So now you are tricking me that you can make an equation for all the light if the light itself is a multi-substantial. In this manner you cannot pass, you understand? So this is a specific note. Not even, you cannot pass even from this one to this one with an equation, even though it is the same tone, because it is different. It's the different flower. It's exactly like you have on a tree many flowers. Let's say like you are drinking that tea on a tree. Okay, and you are tricking me that you, because they have the same geometry and the same flower, lotus flower, let's say, you make from one another flower. There are different types of flowers. You understand. So many tricks, reductionist tricks. So this video I made it like this, Bowlight Part 2 against Maxwell. Okay, so I will show to you many waves on my computer. I make music. I study these waves for years. But telling you again, you are not a wave. The men are telling you that only in the particular case of some electromechanical move of light there is a wave. Light is not a wave. But when you send why you are sending in waves your face on live stream? So why you are making waves? You send your face in a live temporal stream. Okay. So electricity is not a wave. You understand? It is not. Only in some particular cases, like in music. So they are tricking you, superimposing many things too. Okay. So if you watch that, now you understand, you have a touch screen. You touch with your finger. This, you have some light energy in your top of the finger, and you press it. You open a button, like exactly like real manner. You put your finger on a button and you close or open a light bulb. Instead of a light bulb, imagine this is, you have pictures like this. Okay, and in minimalized manner. And you press on it like on a button, like this. You have button, play, like this. You press on it. So instead of the real object is light. So you understand now that you have a touch with light, and all the senses are light. So, but we do not know on this day how you're going to make them more complex, more okay. But as I'm telling you, there is light, there's tones of light. So that's why you do not understand. Light has many properties, exactly like this copper. For somebody that makes like pans from copper, is interested with fry your Burberry. If you're telling him that this is copper, and he makes music. Because you see, it seems there is no connection between the copper. How do you are using it? This is what I'm telling you. So the light being like diverse, it had many functions in it. God, you see, when you have this knife like Swiss like knife, army knife, okay, have multiple functions. God knew how to make it. What you can do with this rock is you can make many things with it. In this kind, the copper and the light has many properties, and so in a multiple functional manner. That's why you are believing somehow that you can only see it. That's why this is stupid. You see, only you can see a small part of light. The light makes the connection. You break this rock, I'm telling you, is like that magnet. You break this rock and it's like that magnet. And has a moment of strength of breaking. Okay, so this is the video about light, a big video again, but okay. In this video, Caters clips about you see there are many organisms in the ocean, many. This is one of them that emit light. So what is the speed of light inside the squid? So, but what you are saying electrons? Do you really believe that it's produced by electrons? I always telling you this. And the light does not have a certain energy. You see? A squid emitting light. So what is the speed of light inside the squid? Before he produces it. What is the speed of light? I'm telling you that you are lied in many ways in this current day. So let me tell you, God says that He makes the stars after the plants because they are almost alive, like this squid. They are regenerative stars, and that's why I'm tricking you. The most inefficient way of production of light through atomic bombs. So from all what you're seeing in my video, like this light producing organism, so they're scaring you. There's nothing scaring, and they're scaring you atomic bombs, fusion bombs producing light. So the stars producing light through bombs. Do you understand the scary tactics? They're crazy. So they were saying that burning gases were now more dangerous than a gas is bombs. So through bombs you produce. So how the stars producing light? Through bombs, atomic bombs, the fusion, atomic bombs, nucleus, something that. But this is burning you. They're not any flames. You can touch it and produces light. And then you see. So for atomic bombs or fusions, so if God made the organism or life organism to produce light, but it is not light, it's burning you. I'm telling you can touch a star with your hand. It's not going to burn. It's not going to. Okay. I'm subscribed also to this guy, Meo, Incredible Moments. Electricity, it is light. You see? So you neglect the light. Why?
A transformer explosion at Ciudad Enea, Chile on June 17, 2025.
So you see light, you neglect light, you say electrons. You do not see. But you see light and you neglect it. It is light. Electricity, it is light. So do you do not wonder that 8 billion people using electricity do not know that there is light, and they accept the electron. But you see light, and where is the electron? You look light on all the phenomenon of electricity. Light. You see from the Meo Incredible Moments. I subscribe to this. You see? Light. So but now electrons. Where is the electrons? Where are electricity? It is light. In the thundercloud. On a
Lunar corona, a rare phenomenon caused by light diffraction through tiny water droplets in thin clouds.
It's multiple substance. You can do many things with it. That's why you do not understand. One of the aspects is in fire, and fire appears without electricity. Is in magnets. Is in it is in okay. One of the aspects is the electricity, but it does not have in a necessary manner. It does not have a speed. So now you understand, you go to a gas stove, you burn gas, you know the formula, chemical formula, carbon, hydrogen 4 plus oxygen, degazate, carbon, dioxide of carbon and water. But there's light. But there's light non-stop on your gas stove but you neglect light everywhere. Why you are doing this? You see, but this is what I've discovered. Okay, it seems simple, but I've discovered this. The light is a complex phenomenon, and it makes matter, makes Mendeleev, makes everything, and it has few aspects, but does not have any certain speed.
But has anyone measured the speed of light directly or not? No. In fact, what was measured was the path of light in both directions there and back. But no one has ever measured the one-way path. It might not seem like a big deal, right? Could the speed of light in the opposite direction possibly be any different? Come on. But why not? What if light really flies at one speed in one direction and at another speed in the other? Now, try now to keep an open mind, even if this idea sounds naive and stupid. It's questions like these that were a stepping stone into making groundbreaking theories that have fundamentally changed our lives.
The Maxwell equations are false. This is the second video of mine on light. Maybe I'll do more like this. So I'm telling you the light does not have a certain speed. It can surpass the speed of light, actual current day speed of light. It even is not defined of space-time definition and has a time improbability because it's capable as weights and is capable to produce this no longer a short one and a longer one. So it defines when it intersects okay, is like a phenomenological manner. It takes the time from the object, duplicates it, and is capable or intersecting many times together. If you understand this, like 10 instruments and one gives short note, one a big note, one you see there are three kind of notes: a short, a middle note, and like in a temporal manner. We can work with a full note is like this, okay, and like this, if you know, in music, and then you have a shorter one like in a half, and a double shorter one, because this is the time you are interested to intersect. You see, maybe this song continuum, there is 4 times that you work with them, or most often, like you see, and basically more often 3 times. So a short time, double this one and double of this one, like 3 times. This is enough to make intersection of time and music. Although okay, but it means if you have 10 instruments, so one gives this time, one this time, one this time, okay, and they're intersected and some accords, so it makes temporal accords. So the line must describe them, and your understanding is not added. Sometimes, like in Victorian manner, you cannot add time if you understand. So you put in an equation in a classical mechanics like this, you did not understand. You cannot add time like this one with this one. You will destroy the note of flute. But this time is given by a flute, this time is given by a guitar, and this by a piano. So you have 3 times 3 different timbres of instrument and different you see, and different measure. And when you intersect the light, there is an exterior. It is light in a microphone. You see, that's why with the magnet you increase the field, the possibility of reception. Like the magnet in a spherical manner like this intercepts all the geometric forms in the sphere, and you put it on cable and you alimentate with light. If you do not operate, it is not going to receive the signal. So you receive the signal, musical signal, and it is light, if you understand. And in a geometrical pattern mode, this I have showed you in my computer. So now the external light that exists in a phenomenological manner receives also light. This is also described with light sound, okay, and it impacts and duplicates itself, and it transmits it, because you see the single note of flute is hearing by 100 people. So it duplicates this and it breaks this into many temporal position and sends it in 100 years at once. The single note for a flute, from a flute, it duplicates it, make the pattern flower, and in an untemporal manner, an instant manner, like somehow going back to this, is radiates like this per volume space. This is the energy of radiation, okay? So in this manner, there are some delays on Mars planet if you communicate on a Jupiter planet, and 4 hours something, but you do not know why. So the speed of light is not like, because it's maybe absorption or impact waves. If it is the void itself is light, you see. So in this manner, some delays of signals. How you are transmitting it maybe is wrong. If you make a transmission exactly with a frequency vibration, this is going to be absorbed or resonated somehow. Maybe you can make instant transmission like on Earth. You speak at once on Mars planet. I believe that it is possible. Okay, that's why the light does not have a certain time and certain speed. It is possible not to speak on Mars planet with 20 minutes delay or something. So it's a miss way of communication. But you understand on short now, like I'm describing you, this is a multiple timeline. Does not have this measure of time, this measure of time, or this measure of time. Maybe it is better to understand the time like this. Because if you understand it with numbers, again, it's false. If you say 1, 2, and 4, like double, okay, and 8, like this, you are already understanding wrong. But if you understand time like this, maybe it is better, like a letter. This is a form of time, this is another form of time, another form of time, like a flower of time. This is another flower of time. And now the light intersects all these flowers, this is prepared somehow, and he puts it in a pocket, somehow it is a temporary, if you understand. So he puts it in a pocket and transmits it an instance at a distance. An instance duplicate at distance. But it does this, God wanted to make a resonance only on space. But maybe you cannot resonate the entire space, entire galactic, like you are singing something bad or malefic, and to resonate the entire galaxy to transmit your. So that's why so limits, but they are programmed to do like this. It is per volume. You radiate to the radio antenna only this volume because this God wanted to. But it's not due to the speed of light. It's because per volume you can radiate with this. It's not going to be ugly there with my guitar to resonate the entire planet. No, I'm singing in all the planet now. Hear me from this place. So that's why I can resonate. You destroy your neighbors, you do this, you are malefic, okay? And you can resonate only a room full of this. But the room is resonated with different flowers of time like this, and the light somehow is atemporal, but per volume can encompass and x-axis time encompass many flowers of time like this. Okay, goodbye, God bless. This is my second video on light. Goodbye, God bless.
Alright, let's imagine we have a laser that fires a beam through a perfect vacuum over a distance of 1 mile. We start the timer when the laser is turned on and stop it as soon as the light passes that 1 mile. But how do we know when the light reaches the end point if the timer is on and we are at the starting point? Apparently, we need 2 timers for that. One at the laser and one at the end of the path. We'll start them simultaneously, and the second timer will stop the moment it detects the arriving beam. But first we need to synchronize the timers, otherwise the measurement results will be useless. How to synchronize them? We could throw a wire to transmit the signal from one timer to the other over a distance of 1 mile. However, the signal won't reach the other side instantly, but will travel through the wire at the speed of the light and reach the second device with a delay. In case you didn't know, electric current also travels through wires at the speed of light. Perhaps we could subtract the delay, but that's exactly the time it takes for the light to travel 1 mile in one direction, and that's exactly what we don't know and are trying to measure. Okay, well, let's try a different approach. We'll connect the 2 timers, synchronize them, and then move the second timer to the end point 1 mile away. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. After the synchronization, we'll move the second clock relative to the first one, which will remain stationary. According to the special theory of relativity, time flows slower for the second clock than the first, based on the stationary observer's perspective. So when the second timer reaches the right place, it'll already be out of sync with the first one. Of course, the difference may be very slight, but we will definitely be there, and there is no way to avoid it. What the hell? Okay, let's throw away the second timer, put a mirror at the end of the path. That would reflect the light and use a single timer to measure the time that it takes for the beam to travel 2 kilometers there and back. Does this remind you of anything? That's right. That's exactly what Galileo and his followers tried to do. We've come full circle. This result isn't valid because we didn't measure, but calculated the speed of light, based on indirect evidence.
And now from this channel, Mukesh saw kill like an Indian guy, welding machine. Electricity, it is light. You neglect light everywhere, but you do not see the electron. You see light? So how can you escape what I'm telling you? How? So but realize this, that I discovered this, and 8 billion people using electricity do not know that electricity is light. And you are still messed up with that electron, Thomson electron, and Maxwell electromagnetic equation, and you do not know. You see? You put like this wire, of any metals, and the electricity that it is light melts them. You saw that wiping the oxides from, and you can make many things. It's a complex substances makes. It is the atom somehow. It is with fire as a complex. It does not have any speed. Does not have any certain speed. It's some frequency. Varies the frequency of light per second. Like you are saying, like kilohertz. I'm telling you that these things are wrong somehow also. I'm telling you that all the science is wrong. In kilohertz, volts, amperage, and you vary the frequency of light, how you are sending it. And when you vary it, it melts all the metals, knowing metals, okay? So, but you see light, it is from the electricity. Light from electricity.
यार कितनी गजब वेल्डिंग हुई है यार गाइस. तो जब यार 10 नंबर के रोड से बिल्कुल आसानी से वेल्डिंग हो ही रही है.
Okay, electricity, light, man. Okay.